Hey everybody, Dr. Sanderson here. I hope you all had a good spring break, and we are now moving into Unit 9 of our course. And in Unit 9, we're going to be talking about effort and social media, and really the ways in which an organization can use effort to stand out against their competitors on social media. So if you think back to your industry interviews, some of the things that you found in those were that people who worked in social media talked about, it's challenging to stand out with all the content that's out there. And Vaynerchuk basically says one way you stand out against your competition is through your effort, and in particular, the effort that you show in engaging and interacting with your audiences. Now, what's interesting about that is Vaynerchuk tends to say that we don't have very high expectations for organizations when it comes to effort. So if you think about just the number of people who comment or seek help from an organization on social media, many of them don't get a response. And in fact, when they do get a response, they're very surprised, and we tend to be impressed by that because, wow, they're actually really listening to us. And I think that's interesting because that says something about kind of the expectations that we have that aren't too high for organizations on social media. Now, as we also know, just about every organization out there now has invested in social media. So for smaller companies and nonprofits, they don't have social media command centers like Microsoft has or like Southwest Airlines has. They don't have a social media team of 20 people. They don't have GoPro cameras that they're using to take 360-degree video and those sorts of things. But um, beyond that, what Vaynerchuk basically says, and I think this is where organizations, no matter what their resource allocation is, can really stand out. And that's using social media as a relational tool. As we've talked about, we tend to see a lot of organizations just throw hooks at customers and audiences. They tend to just try and market them and don't really focus on building the relationships. And so organizations that do that, and Vaynerchuk says that requires creativity and sincerity, those organizations are going to stand out because they're focusing on quality interactions, not quantity of interactions. So some of you have talked about the automated responses that many companies put out that seem very impersonal and in fact would reflect you being on hold when calling an 800 number. And so an organization that doesn't do that, that really invests in making sure that the customers and the audience know they care and that they care about the person not just as a customer, but as an individual, those are the organizations that are going to stand out and succeed and separate themselves on social media. So as you think about your consulting projects and your clients, think about how you can help them use that relational aspect of social media to stand out, because that's something that they can do even with not a lot of resources. So in the discussion forum this week, you're going to kind of take up that topic. What I'm going to ask you to do is pick an organization that you want and pick a social media platform that organization is on. So for instance, you might choose, Southwest Airlines and Facebook, or you might choose Nordstrom's and Twitter. And what you're going to do is basically just look at the interaction that they have there on that platform. How are they doing in responding to positive and negative feedback and interacting with the audience? Then I want you to compare them with someone in their industry in terms of how the feedback and interaction is going. So again, if you pick Southwest Airlines, you would compare them potentially to American Airlines. If you pick the Chicago Bulls, you would compare them to the Phoenix Suns. If you picked the Red Cross, you would compare them to ALS or some other nonprofit organization. So just you need to find a industry competitor that you can do some comparison with, and then you'll make some recommendations from your observations there. So same timelines as usual: Thursday for the initial post and Sunday for your 2 response posts. And then remember also that in this unit, your final project milestone number 2 is due. That's due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. and you'll submit that through the Blackboard. Remember that in that assignment, you're basically just starting to write the consulting document for the final project. So you'll talk about the growth and evolution of social media as a business tool. You'll identify best practices for organizations using social media. You'll talk about the limits and the drawbacks and the benefits of social media for organizations. And then you'll move into your client specifically, and you'll talk about what they're currently doing on social media. And then you're going to pick from 2 of 4 goals. And those 4 goals are demonstrating expertise, increasing brand awareness, driving traffic to the website, and connecting with customers. You'll pick 2 of those and talk about how social media can help them achieve those 2 goals, and also how audience engagement can help them achieve those goals as well. So let me know if you have questions on that. That'll be due this Sunday at 11:59. Thanks.